My sister's scream sliced through the dining room, her words ablaze. You ruined our lives, Annabel. At 33, I stood frozen, the sting of her accusation dwarfed only by the sound of our parents clapping, their applause a betrayal that shattered my world. By morning, 99 calls and messages from family would flood my phone, each one a clue to a secret they'd buried, one that would force me to question everything I thought I knew about us. The Chicago wind howled outside our parents' Lincoln Park brownstone, rattling the windows as if trying to break into the chaos unfolding inside. At 33, I, Annabel, sat at the mahogany dining table, its polished surface reflecting the tension of our family dinner, a rare gathering meant to mend old rifts. The air smelled of roasted lamb and Mom's lavender candles, but the warmth was a facade, crumbling the moment my sister, Clara, 29, stood, her wineglass trembling, her hazel eyes, our father's eyes, blazing with a fury I hadn't seen since we were kids. You ruined our lives, Annabel, she screamed, her voice cracking, the words landing like a physical blow. Before I could respond, Mom and Dad clapped, their hands slow, deliberate, their faces tight with something I couldn't name, pride, relief, or accusation. The room spun, my breath caught, and I knew nothing would be the same. I was a freelance graphic designer, my life a patchwork of deadlines, coffee shops, and a Wicker Park loft I'd made my own. Clara was a social worker, her passion for helping others matched only by her intensity, our bond strained but unbroken despite years of small grudges, her canceled birthdays, my missed calls. Our parents, Ellen and Paul, were retired librarians, their brownstone a shrine to books and routine, their love for us fierce but uneven, Clara's sensitivity always drawing their focus. Tonight's dinner was Dad's idea, a chance to clear the air after months of silence, sparked by my decision to skip Clara's engagement party last fall, a choice I'd made under pressure from a client's deadline. I'd apologized, sent flowers, but Clara's texts had grown sharp. You're always too busy, a refrain that echoed now in her scream. Ruined their lives? My inner monologue reeled, confusion and betrayal tangling. I'd been the steady one, the one who called Mom during her chemo, drove Dad to PT after his knee surgery, wired Clara money when her car broke down. How could I have ruined anything? The applause, Mom's quick, sharp claps, Dad's slower, heavy ones, felt like a verdict, their silence afterward deafening. Clara sank into her chair, tears streaming, her fiancé, Tom, rubbing her back, his eyes avoiding mine. What are you talking about? I asked, my voice low, trembling, my hands gripping the tablecloth. Clara's laugh was bitter, her words venomous. You really don't know, do you? Always so perfect, Annabel. Always above it all. Mom leaned forward, her voice soft but cutting. Annabel, you've made choices that hurt us. We've been carrying it too long. Dad nodded, his glasses glinting, his silence a weight. Choices? My inner voice demanded, frustration rising. Skipping a party? Working too much? The accusation was vague, their faces guarded, a secret simmering beneath their words I couldn't grasp. A flashback hit, vivid and raw. I was 22, Clara 18, in their kitchen, Mom praising Clara's volunteer work while I, home from college, mentioned a design award. That's nice, dear, Mom had said, distracted, her eyes on Clara. I'd swallowed the hurt, believing my achievements were enough, but now, that pattern, Clara's spotlight, my shadow, felt like a clue. Have I been blind? My inner monologue wondered, doubt creeping in, their applause a signal I'd missed something bigger, something they'd held against me. I stood, my chair scraping, my voice steady despite the tremor in my chest. If I've ruined your lives, tell me how. I deserve that. Clara's eyes flickered, guilt or anger, but she looked away, her silence a wall. Dad cleared his throat, his voice gruff. Not now, Annabel. We'll talk later. Mom's hand touched mine, her touch cold. Go home, sweetheart. Give us time. Their dismissal was a slap, their refusal to explain a deepening mystery. They're hiding something, my inner voice insisted, anger flaring, but hope flickered. Maybe they'd call, clarify, bridge this chasm. I grabbed my coat, the lamb untouched, and left, the wind biting as I stepped into the night, my phone already buzzing with the first of what would become 99 messages. Back in my loft, the exposed brick walls felt foreign, the city's hum a distant roar. My phone lit up, text from Clara, "You need to hear us," from Mom, "We love you, but it's complicated," from cousins, aunts, even Tom, "Clara's a mess, talk to her." The volume stunned me, 15 messages by midnight, each vague, urgent, a chorus of blame and pleas. What's going on? My inner monologue raced, betrayal sinking deeper, their coordinated attack a sign of a shared secret. I scrolled, my hands shaking, finding a voicemail from Aunt June. "Annabel, you've got to face what you've done. It's time." Her tone, sharp but hesitant, was a clue, what you've done a puzzle I couldn't solve. I poured tea, chamomile to calm my nerves, and sat at my desk, my designer's eye scanning the messages for patterns. They're united against me, my inner voice noted, frustration mounting, but a thread emerged, references to the past, your choices, our pain. A flashback surfaced. Clara at 16, crying after a fight with Mom, me holding her, promising, "I'll always be here." Had I failed that promise? What did I do? My heart ached, confusion and hurt tingling, hope fading as the messages piled up, 30 by 2 a.m., each one a weight, their secret a shadow I couldn't name. I didn't reply, my silence a shield, but resolve stirred, a need to uncover their truth. "I'll dig," my inner monologue vowed, my analyst's mind, honed by years of parsing client briefs, ready to investigate. I'd check old emails, call Aunt June, maybe search Clara's social media for hints. The messages kept coming, 50 by dawn. Cousins I hadn't seen in years. "You owe us an explanation." Their urgency a taunt. What do they know that I don't? My inner voice pressed, suspense building, their accusation a mystery tied to a past I couldn't recall. The Chicago skyline glowed outside, its lights cold, and I sat, tea gone cold, my phone a ticking bomb. The next 24 hours a gauntlet I'd face alone, their secret a truth that could break me or set me free. The Chicago morning was a dull gray, the city's hum muffled by the weight of betrayal pressing against my chest. At 33, Annabel, sat in my Wicker Park loft, my phone a relentless pulse of accusation after last night's family dinner, where my sister Clara's scream, "You ruined our lives," and our parents' chilling applause had shattered my world. By 8 a.m., 99 calls, voicemails, texts, and group chat screenshots from family, Mom, Dad, Clara, cousins, even distant uncles, had flooded in, each blaming me for a crime I couldn't name. Their vague, venomous words deepened my confusion, and I needed answers, not their chorus of guilt. I turned to my Aunt June, slightly removed from our family's core, hoping for clarity, but her cryptic hint about a childhood event I couldn't recall only tightened the knot of mystery, my heart swinging between hurt, fear, and a desperate resolve to uncover the truth. My phone buzzed on the counter, its screen a cascade of notifications, each one a jab. Clara's text, "You can't just walk away, Annabel. Face it." Mom's voicemail, her voice tearful, "We're hurting, sweetheart. You need to understand." A screenshot from a family group chat, forwarded by my cousin Lila, showed Uncle Ray's message, "Annabel's always been selfish. Time she owns it." The words stung, their unity a coordinated assault, but their vagueness, "face it, own it," was maddening. What did I do? My inner monologue reeled, confusion a fog I couldn't pierce. I'd been their anchor, supporting Mom's cancer recovery, Dad's surgeries, Clara's crises, Yet they turned on me, their applause for Clara's outburst a betrayal that echoed in every message. I listened to Aunt June's voicemail again, her tone sharp but hesitant. Annabel, you've got to face what you've done. It's time. Her distance, she lived in Evanston, saw us only at holidays, made her a safer bet than confronting Clara or my parents, whose evasions last night had cut deep. She knows something, my inner voice insisted, hope flickering, but fear followed. What if it's worse than I imagine? A flashback hit. I was 10, Clara 6, at June's lake house, her warm laugh as we baked cookies, a contrast to Mom's distracted praise for Clara. She'll tell me, my inner monologue resolved, my designer's instinct for patterns urging me to seek her out, to unravel this secret they'd buried. I drove to Evanston, the skyline fading, my hands gripping the wheel, the phone silenced but heavy in my bag. June's bungalow was cozy, its porch sagging, the scent of her rose garden grounding me. She answered the door, her silver hair pulled back, her eyes wary but kind. Annabel, she said, her voice soft, ushering me to her cluttered living room, books and knitting strewn about. I figured you'd come. June, what's going on? I asked, my voice steady despite the tremor in my chest, sitting on her worn sofa. Clara said, I ruined their lives. Mom and Dad clapped. Everyone's messaging me, blaming me. What did I do? She sighed, her hands twisting a yarn skein, her gaze distant. It's not my place to tell it all, she said, her words measured, cryptic. But it goes back to when you were little, maybe 4 or 5. Something happened, something your parents never forgave themselves for, and they think you changed things. Clara was just a baby, and they've carried it ever since. Her vagueness was a jolt, deepening the mystery, her eyes flickering with pity or guilt. Changed things? My inner monologue raced, confusion spiking. I was too young to remember, the timeline a blur, but her words hinted at a wound, a secret tied to me, reshaping our family. What was it, June? I pressed, my voice sharp, frustration leaking through. They're blaming me for something I don't even know. She shook her head, her voice firm. Talk to your parents, Annabel. They owe you that. Her refusal was a wall, her cryptic detail a spark to my fear, my hope fading. Something from when I was 4? My inner voice churned, emotional tension building, the past a shadow I couldn't grasp. A flashback surfaced. Clara's first birthday, Mom's arms around her, me watching from the stairs, a vague unease I couldn't place. Was that it? My heart wondered, the memory slippery, June's hint a puzzle piece that didn't fit. I left, her I'm sorry Annabel trailing me, the drive back a haze of questions. My phone, now at 75 messages, buzzed with more. Cousins, you've hurt Clara enough. Dad, come home. We'll explain. Their urgency was a taunt, their refusal to clarify a betrayal. They're hiding it together. My inner monologue seethed, anger rising, but doubt crept in. What if I did something terrible? The thought was a chill, my role in their pain a mystery I feared to face. I stopped at a coffee shop, scrolling the group chat screenshots, spotting a pattern. Mentions of that summer, the hospital. Annabel's fault. Hospital? My inner voice latched on, a clue that tightened the knot, hope flickering. Maybe I'd find proof, clarity. But fear loomed, the truth a weight I wasn't ready for. I decided to visit my parents' brownstone, unannounced, my freelance schedule giving me the day. If June won't tell me, they will. My inner resolve hardened, my designers I ready to search for answers. The Lincoln Park street was quiet, the brownstone's ivy-covered facade a familiar ache. Mom was at yoga, Dad at a library talk, the spare key under the planter, a trust one now questioned. Inside, the scent of lavender and old books was a comfort and a wound. The dining room table, site of Clara's scream, still set with last night's candles. What are you hiding? My inner monologue pressed, my hands trembling as I moved to their study, its shelves packed with journals, photos, my parents' meticulous records. I scanned files, my heart racing, finding bills, tax returns, nothing unusual, until I opened a desk drawer, its lock broken, revealing a small, locked metal box, its surface scratched, a keyhole taunting me. Beside it was an envelope, yellowed, addressed to Ellen and Paul, in unfamiliar handwriting, postmarked 1996, when I was 4, Clara a baby. My breath caught. The box, an envelope, a promise of truth, or a trap. This is it, my inner voice whispered, suspense spiking, hope and fear colliding. Were they letters, photos, a confession? What happened that summer? My heart pounded. The hospital clue, June's hint, now a tangible mystery in my hands. I didn't open the envelope. Fear of what it held stopped me, but I tucked it into my bag, the box too heavy to carry, its lock a challenge I'd face later. The messages kept coming, 99 by noon, their blame a chorus, the box and envelope a secret that could explain their pain, or confirm my ruin. I left, the brownstone silent, my phone a ticking clock, the truth a shadow I'd chase, its weight heavy in the Chicago dawn. The Chicago dusk was a soft bruise of purple, its chill seeping through my Wicker Park loft's windows, mirroring the quiet heartbreak settling in my bones. At 33, Annabel, was unraveling a family secret that had upended my world. Clara's scream at dinner. "You ruined our lives." Backed by our parents' chilling applause, followed by 99 calls and messages blaming me for a crime I couldn't name. Aunt June's cryptic hint about a childhood event when I was 4, tied to a hospital and a family burden, had deepened the mystery, and yesterday, I'd found a locked metal box and a yellowed envelope in my parents' brownstone, dated 1996, promising answers. Now, as I opened the envelope, its contents, a letter and an old photograph, revealed a truth that shook my identity, driving me to confront my father, only to face his silence, and an unexpected message from a family friend, pulling me deeper into a truth I was both desperate and terrified to uncover. I sat at my kitchen table, the envelope trembling in my hands, its faded ink. Ellen and Paul, 1996, a portal to a past I couldn't recall. My phone, silenced but heavy with 99 messages, lay beside me. Clara's face it, moms were hurting, and cousins you owe us, a relentless chorus of blame. What did I do? My inner monologue churned, confusion and hurt tangling. June's words. Something happened, they think you changed things. A riddle I needed to solve. The locked box, left at the brownstone, was out of reach, its key a mystery, but the envelope was mine, its contents a chance to understand why my family saw me as their ruin. This is it, my inner voice whispered, hope flickering, but fear followed. What if I'm not who I thought? I slit the envelope, my heart pounding, and pulled out a single letter, its paper brittle, and a Polaroid photograph, its edges curled. The letter was from a Dr. Margaret Klein, Chicago General Hospital, dated July 1996, addressed to my parents. Its words were clinical but devastating. Dear Mr. and Mrs. Whitaker, regarding the incident with your daughter Annabel, age 4, we've finalized the settlement. The hospital acknowledges the error in medication dosage during her tonsillectomy, leading to her cardiac event. Per our agreement, the $150,000 compensation is deposited, with the condition of confidentiality to protect all parties. Annabel's recovery is complete, and we trust this resolves the matter. My breath caught, shock giving way to a quiet heartbreak. Cardiac event? My inner monologue reeled, my identity as the healthy, steady daughter fracturing. I'd never known, never been told. The scar on my throat, a vague memory I'd thought normal. The photograph was worse, a gut punch. Me, tiny and pale in a hospital bed, tubes snaking from my arms, Clara, a newborn, in Mom's arms beside me. Dad's face grim, his hand on my bedrail. The image was a frozen wound, their fear palpable, my near loss a secret they'd buried. They hid this from me. My inner voice mourned, betrayal deepening, the settlement money a lie about my own life. Why blame me? My heart questioned. The letters, confidentiality, clause a clue to a cover-up. Their applause for Clara's accusation now a twisted echo of guilt they'd projected onto me. A flashback surfaced. I was 6, Clara too. Mom snapping. Be careful, Annabel. When I ran near her, her fear excessive, now explained by my fragility they'd never shared. I was their burden, not their daughter. My inner monologue grieved. My place in the family, a fixer, a shadow, reframed by this truth. I drove to my parents' Lincoln Park brownstone, the city lights blurring, my need for answers outweighing the pain. Dad will know, my inner resolve hardened, his silence at dinner, his gruff, not now, a wall I'd breach. The letter and photo were in my bag, my evidence, my identity in question. Who am I to them? My inner voice pressed, quiet heartbreak, a steady ache, but a growing drive to uncover the full truth fueled me. The brownstone was dark, Mom at a book club, but Dad's car was there, his routine predictable. I used the spare key, the lavender scent a familiar sting, and found him in the living room, reading, his glasses low on his nose. Dad, we need to talk, I said, my voice steady, holding up the letter, the photo. I found this. A hospital settlement, a cardiac event when I was 4. Why didn't you tell me? Why does Clara think I ruined your lives? His face tightened, his book dropping, but his eyes slid away, his voice gruff. Annabel, leave it alone. It's old, done. His evasion was a slap, his refusal to meet my gaze a fresh betrayal. Dad, this is my life. I pressed, my voice breaking, tears burning. You hid it and now you're blaming me. What happened to the money? What's the truth? He stood, his cane tapping, his voice sharp. Go home, Annabel. We'll talk when your mother's here. His dodge was a wall, his silence a confirmation of the cover-up, the settlement money, $150,000. A mystery tied to their blame. They're still hiding. My inner monologue seethed, frustration surging, but heartbreak lingered, his dismissal a reminder I was never their equal, Clara's pain always trumping mine. I left, the photo trembling in my hand, my drive to know stronger, their secret a wound I'd pry open. Back in my loft, my phone buzzed, the 99th message, not from family, but from Mrs. Lottie Hayes, my late grandmother's caretaker, a neighbor who'd lived across from the brownstone in '96. Her text was simple, unexpected. Annabel, heard about the family trouble. I know something about that summer when you were sick. Meet me tomorrow? My heart leapt, hope surging, her offer a lifeline, her distance from the family a chance for truth. She was there, my inner voice marveled, Lottie's warm smile, her stories to me and Clara, a memory of trust. But fear followed. What if it's worse? My heart whispered, the settlement, the hospital, Clara's scream a puzzle whose pieces might destroy me. I sat, the letter and photo on my table, my designers eye tracing their edges, the hospital's words, confidentiality, error, a cover-up that reshaped my identity. I'm not just Annabel, their fixer. My inner monologue reflected, strength growing. I'm the child they almost lost, the truth they hid. The settlement money, where had it gone? Clara's education, the brownstones' mortgage, their savings? Did they blame me for the cost? My heart ached, quiet heartbreak a steady pulse, but my drive to uncover the full truth was fiercer, Lottie's message a beacon. A flashback hit, Lottie at Grandma's funeral whispering, your family's been through too much, her eyes on me, now a clue to her knowledge. The Chicago night deepened, my phone silent, the envelope's truth await, Lottie's meeting a shadow I'd face tomorrow, its answers a risk that could redefine me or break me. The Chicago morning was crisp, the sky a fragile blue as I, Annabel, drove to meet Mrs. Lottie Hayes, my late grandmother's caretaker, whose unexpected message last night promised answers to the family secret that had upended my life. At 33, I was reeling from Clara's scream, "You ruined our lives," and our parents' chilling applause, followed by 99 calls and messages blaming me for a past I couldn't grasp. Aunt June's cryptic hint about a childhood event when I was 4, a hospital settlement letter, and a haunting photo of me in a hospital bed had revealed a near-fatal medical error. $150,000 cover-up my parents hid, reshaping my identity. Dad's evasion yesterday, leave it alone, deepened the mystery, but Lottie's offer to talk, her knowledge of that summer in 1996, was a beacon. Now, as I faced the truth, my heart braced for heartbreak and clarity, ready to write my truth to my family. Not to mend, but to free myself. I parked outside Lottie's Rogers Park apartment, a low brick building with chipped paint, the scent of her gardenias drifting from a window box. My hands trembled, the hospital letter and photo in my bag, their weight a reminder of the secret, my cardiac event, the settlement, my family's blame, that had fractured my place among them. What does she know? My inner monologue churned, hope and fear tangling, Clara's accusation, Mom's tears, Dad's silence, a chorus I needed to understand. This is it, my inner voice whispered, my designer's instinct for patterns urging me forward, the 99 messages. Face it, Annabel, you owe us, a shadow I'd dispel. Lottie greeted me, her face lined but warm, her gray curls loose, her living room cluttered with photos and crochet. Annabel, you've grown so, she said, her voice soft, offering tea, her kindness a balm to my raw heart. We sat, her eyes meeting mine, heavy with something like regret. You want to know about 96, she said, no preamble, her tone steady but gentle. I was there with your grandma when it happened. It's time you heard. I nodded, my throat tight, my inner monologue racing. Please, just tell me, she sighed, her hands folding, and began. When you were 4, your tonsillectomy went wrong. The hospital gave you too much anesthesia, and your heart stopped for a minute. You recovered, thank God, but your parents were wrecked. They sued, got $150,000, and swore to keep it quiet, not just for the hospital, but for Clara. She paused, her eyes searching mine, and I felt the air shift, a truth emerging. Clara was a newborn, colicky, and your mom, she was struggling, postpartum depression, maybe worse. They used the money to pay off debts, get therapy, stabilize their lives, but they blamed you, not your fault, but your illness, for pushing them to the edge. They made you the scapegoat, told Clara you cost them, to protect their own guilt. Her words were a quiet hammer, emotionally believable, not melodramatic, but devastating. Scapegoat? My inner monologue reeled, heartbreak flooding me, my identity as their steady daughter dissolving. I'd been a child, blameless, yet they'd woven a lie my cost. To shield their fragility, Clara's pain their focus, my survival a burden. They blamed me to save themselves, my inner voice mourned, tears falling. The photo of me in that hospital bed, Clara in Mom's arms, now a symbol of their choice. A flashback hit. Clara at 10 whispering, Mom says you made things hard. Her words a seed I'd ignored, now blooming into this truth. I wasn't their ruin. I was their excuse. My heart broke, clarity piercing the fog. My place in the family, a prop, not a person, laid bare. Why didn't they tell me? I asked, my voice cracking, hands shaking. Lottie's eyes softened, her voice low. They were ashamed, Annabel. They leaned on you, your strength, your care, to make up for it, but never faced their guilt. Clara grew up hearing you were the problem, and they let her believe it. Her honesty was a gift, painful but clear, her role as grandma's caretaker giving her eyes into their silence. They built a lie around me. My inner monologue grieved, but clarity steadied me. my drive to understand now and need to claim my truth. I left Lottie's, her hug warm, her, "You're stronger than they know," a spark in my chest. The drive back was a blur, my tears drying, heartbreak giving way to resolve. I'm not their scapegoat anymore, my inner voice declared, strength rising, Lottie's truth a lens that reframed my life. The 99 messages, Clara's "You hurt us," Mom's "It's complicated," were their projection, their refusal to face their own failures. I deserved to be seen, my heart insisted, the hospital settlement, their use of the money for Clara, a betrayal I'd no longer carry. I tried calling Dad, needing one last chance, but his voicemail clicked on, his silence a final dodge. He won't face me, my inner monologue sighed, disappointment sharp, but my resolve hardened. Back in my loft, I sat at my desk, the Chicago skyline dim, and opened my laptop, ready to write. The message wasn't for reconciliation. Their lie, their blame, had broken that bridge, but for me, a declaration of my truth, my freedom from their narrative. My fingers trembled, but my heart was clear, each word a step toward clarity. Dear family, I know the truth about 1996. When I was 4, a hospital error nearly killed me, and you got $150,000 to stay quiet. You used it for Clara, for your debts, but told her I was the cost, the reason for your pain. You made me the scapegoat for your guilt, your struggles, and never told me, letting me carry your blame. I was a child, not your ruin, but you leaned on my strength, my care, while applauding Clara's accusations. I'm done being your shadow. I love you, but I'm not yours to blame. I'm Annabel, not your fixer, and I'm choosing me. This isn't for forgiveness, it's for my truth.
Goodbye.
I read it, tears falling, my inner monologue steady. This is mine. I sent it to the group chat, to Mom, Dad, Clara, cousins, aunts, the 99 voices that had drowned me. The act was quiet, not a scream, but a release, my heartbreak raw but purposeful, my strength in owning my story, not theirs. A flashback surfaced, me at 15, sketching in my room, Clara's laugh downstairs, my art a refuge they never saw. I was always more, my heart affirmed, clarity a light through the pain, my identity no longer theirs to define. As I hit send, my phone buzzed a new message, but I ignored it, the silence my own. Lottie's truth, the letter's confession, had broken me open, but in the shards, I found myself, Annabel, not their scapegoat, not their ruin, but a woman who'd survived their lie. I'm enough, my inner voice vowed, strength deep, the settlement a secret they'd used to bind me, now a key to my freedom. The Chicago night was still, my loft a sanctuary, the message sent, their response a shadow I didn't need. But a question lingered. What would Clara say, faced with this truth? Will she see me now? My heart wondered, suspense building, her reaction, their silence, a cliffhanger I'd face tomorrow, my truth a weight I'd carry, clear and whole. The Portland morning was soft, its autumn light filtering through the maples, casting golden flecks across my new studio apartment in the Pearl District. At 33, I, Annabel, had left Chicago behind, the city's weight, Clara's scream, "You ruined our lives," my parents' chilling applause, and the 99 messages blaming me, now a memory I'd faced and released. Lottie's revelation, months ago, had unveiled the truth. A hospital error when I was 4, nearly fatal, led to a $150,000 settlement my parents used for Clara, making me their scapegoat to mask their guilt. My message to them, a raw declaration of my truth, had severed ties, not for reconciliation but for me. Now, 5 months later, I was rebuilding, no longer waiting for their change, defining my identity with quiet courage, my heart bittersweet but empowered, my life a canvas I painted alone. The move to Portland was a leap, sparked by a freelance design contract with a small press, their offer a lifeline after Chicago's wounds. I'd packed my Wicker Park loft in July, the hospital letter and photo, proof of my family's lie, tucked in a box, not to haunt me, but to remind me I'd survived. I'm not their scapegoat, my inner monologue affirmed, strength steady, the betrayal a scar, not a chain. The transition was hard. Portland's rain, softer than Chicago's, still felt foreign, and my loft's bare walls echoed the loneliness of starting over. Did I run too far? My inner voice questioned, heartbreak lingering, but resolve held. This is for me. I leased a one-bedroom, its skylight a promise of light, and began to rebuild. My freelance work, book covers, logos, a thread to my old self, my new life a deliberate choice. I restarted painting, a passion I'd buried under family duties, mom's chemo, dad's surgeries, Clara's crises. In a community art class, I dipped brushes into ochre and teal, my canvases abstract, their swirls a release of the pain I'd carried. This is mine, my inner monologue smiled, each stroke a reclaiming, the hospital's shadow fading, my identity as Annabel, not their fixer, taking shape. The challenge was time. Client deadlines clashed with classes, and Portland's gray winters tested my resolve. I'm tired, my inner voice admitted, but painting nights, the studio's hum, were a victory, my resilience in creating, not just surviving. Reconnecting with an old friend, Mara, a college roommate now in Portland, was a quiet success. We'd lost touch, my family's needs eclipsing friendships, but her warm, Annabel, you're here, over coffee rekindled a bond. She listened to my story, Clara's blame, the settlement lie, her, you're so strong, a mirror to my growth. I'm not alone, my inner monologue warmed, Mara's laughter, our hikes in Forest Park, a chosen family, a contrast to the 99 messages venom. The challenge was vulnerability. Opening up risked pain, but Mara's steady presence, her, you don't owe them anything, helped me let go, my strength in trusting again. I no longer waited for my family to change. Clara's single reply to my message, a terse you don't understand, went unanswered, her refusal to see the truth a closed door. Mom's letters, forwarded by a cousin, begged, come back, Annabel. But I recycled them. Dad's silence, louder than words. They chose their lie, my inner voice reflected, bittersweet but clear, their scapegoating, blaming my illness for their struggles. A burden I'd shed. A flashback surfaced. Me at 20, sketching Clara's portrait, her smile my reward, now tainted by her. You ruined us. I loved them, but I love me. My heart resolved, courage in releasing their hold, my identity mine to define. My successes were small, powerful. A gallery accepted 2 paintings for a local show, my name in print a thrill, my art a voice they'd never heard. Freelance work grew, a second publisher contracting me, my savings rebuilding for future, a European trip, maybe a house. I'm building, not fixing. My inner monologue beamed, pride steady, the settlement shadow, $150,000 they'd spent, blaming me. Now a distant echo. I joined a book club, Mara's nudge, my voice stronger in debates, my laughter a sound I'd forgotten. This is peace, my inner voice marveled, resilience in living, not proving. Challenges persisted, bittersweet threads. Loneliness crept in, holidays looming without family, their absence a dull ache. Do they miss me? My inner monologue wondered, but I countered with rituals, Sunday painting, coffee with Mara, walks by the Willamette. Doubt lingered. Had I been too harsh, cutting them off? Therapy started in Portland helped my counselors. You chose truth grounding me. I faced it, my heart affirmed. The hospital letter, Lottie's words, my message, proof of my courage. I wasn't healed, but whole, my identity, artist, friend, Annabel, rooted in my choices, not their blame. My hopes were vivid, grounded. I planned a summer in Florence, sketching cathedrals, my travel fund growing. I wanted to teach art, share my joy, my gallery show, a first step. A home, small, with a garden, was a dream for later. Portland's green my anchor. I'll grow slowly, my inner monologue vowed, strength deep, my designer's eye now for my life's patterns, not their chaos. Love, friendship, maybe more, was a hope, Mara's trust a seed, my openness a risk I'd take. One October evening, I walked to Washington Park, the air crisp, leaves crunching underfoot. I carried a sealed letter, written last night, not to my family but to myself, a final act of release. Dear Annabel, you faced their lie, your illness their blame, and chose truth. You're not their scapegoat, but a woman who paints, loves, lives. You're enough. I didn't expect an answer, didn't need one. It's words my peace. At the park's edge, I slipped it into a mailbox, its clink a quiet power, the act symbolic, my courage in letting go. I sat on a bench, the rose garden dormant, Portland's skyline faint beyond the trees. The city hummed, runners, laughter. But I was still, a sketchbook on my lap, my pencil idle, my heart full. I'm Annabel, my inner monologue narrated, bittersweet but empowered, a story of release, resilience, not triumph, but truth. I faced their secret, their blame, and built a life, not waiting, but choosing. The air was cool, the bench hard, a grounding anchor, my peace in knowing I'd face the truth with courage, my future a path I'd walk, whole, alone, and free.